Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to Heyvallaa podcast by Mindful Liberty. As we have already stepped into 2026, this is a space to slow down, to reflect, realign, and grow with intention. The reason that this podcast is delayed in launching was that I was experimenting myself with the new year. The reason that I am starting this podcast now is this is one of the best time of the year as we are in the month of Shaban heading towards Ramadan. True that Ramadan is primarily a month of fasting. However, it is also a month of self-transformation and growth, isn't it? Nobody would disagree that we all feel awakening in our spiritual self in Ramadan more than any other time of the year. Here we explore habits, purpose, mindful and meaningful living, blending modern understanding with timeless Islamic wisdom. No pressure to be perfect, no rush to become someone else, just small, meaningful changes that shape a balanced, purposeful life. Wherever you are on your journey, you are most welcome here. Before we continue, a quick note about a book I'll be referring to in this New Year podcast series. In this series, we'll be referencing James Clear's bestseller, Atomic Habits. It's loved by millions because it moves away from high pressure motivation and focuses on something simpler, systems. The core idea is that tiny habits done consistently create massive change over time. I'm bringing Atomic Habits and Islam together not to replace faith, but to explain it. We're using modern language to unlock the timeless wisdom of consistency, discipline, and intention. First of all, Islam is a system, not just a belief. Islam isn't fueled by fleeting inspiration. It's a daily system. Prayer, zikr, and charity aren't random acts. They're repetitive structures designed to shape the soul. As James Clear teaches, small, consistent actions change who you become. Second, systems beat motivation, isn't it? Many of us are burnt out by motivation culture. Atomic Habits provides the scientific why behind the lifestyle changes. When we apply this to Islam, faith stops feeling like a heavy burden and starts feeling like a livable daily rhythms. Third, change without pressure. Modern self-help says, push harder. Islam says, the most beloved deeds to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are those done consistently, even if they're small. This removes guilt and shame, replacing them with sustainable lifelong progress. Fourth, prayer, the original habit system. Salah, the 5 daily prayers, is the ultimate identity shaping system. With its fixed times and clear structure, it works psychologically to ground us and spiritually to connect us. Together, science and faith transform prayer from a to-do into a lifestyle. Fifth, systems over resolutions. Every new year, we chase goals and eventually give up. But goals need sustainability. This year, we're choosing systems over resolutions, identity over pressure, faith over burnout. You don't need a new you. You need a better way to live daily, intentionally, and with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum. You know something? You don't actually need goals. And before you disagree, let me ask you this honestly. Aren't you tired? Tired of setting goals? Tired of New Year resolutions? Tired of promising new version of yourself every January, only to quietly let it go a few weeks later? Is my research with this book of Atomic Habits, here is what James Clear speaks about. So James, what do you say about it? Do we need goals and systems?
I was very goal driven for a long time. I mean, I probably still am. I don't think there's any way to get around the fact that we all have goals and think about the outcomes we want and so on. But a goal is about the outcome that you want to achieve, and a system is about the process for getting there. And so your goal is the target, the outcome, the thing you're shooting for. Your system is the collection of daily habits that you follow. And if there is ever a gap between your goal and your system, if there's ever a gap between your desired outcome and your daily habits will always win. And so almost by definition, your current habits are perfectly designed to deliver your current results. If you want to see where you're going to end up, just follow the trajectory of your habits. What's the process you've been running for the last 6 months or year or 2 years, and they've carried you almost inevitably to the outcomes that you have right now. Now, I'm not saying that habits are the only thing that matter in life, right? Like strategy matters, luck, randomness, those misfortune, those things can influence the outcome. But by definition, luck and randomness are not under your control, and your habits are. And the only reasonable, rational approach in life is to focus on the pieces that are within your control. So I think goals can be good for setting a sense of direction. They're good for clarity, especially if you have a team, get everybody rowing in the same direction. But once you've decided what the goal is, you should basically set it on the shelf, metaphorically speaking, and spend the vast majority of your time focused on building a better system. How are the habits we're executing each day moving us closer to this outcome that we want? And so where I've come, after talking about this for 5 or 6 years now since the book's been out, where I've come down on it is goals are best for people who care about winning once. Systems are best for people who care about winning repeatedly. If you really want to make progress again and again, if you want to get to the top and stay at the top, you need some process for staying up there, some collection of habits that's going to keep this machine running.
Good intentions, sincere efforts, but reflection and research taught me something important. Goals are not useless. They give direction. They give short-term motivation, but goals don't change lives. Systems do. And most of us were never taught that difference, isn't it? We were taught to chase outcomes, not to design lifestyles. So what are systems? Systems are daily, repetitive, tiny habits you live by. They are what you do when no one is watching, when motivation is gone, when life feels ordinary. It's not the goal that moves forward. It's the small progress you repeat. And here is the key idea. Systems are lifestyles. If you want real success, not just money, not just productivity, but peace, stability, and purpose, you don't fix your goals. You fix your lifestyle. So, pause for a moment and reflect. When do you sleep? When do you wake up? What truly shapes your day? Is it just deadlines, the paychecks, external pressure? Or is there a deeper purpose driving you, something beyond yourself? Here's the most powerful part. Everything we need is already known to us. We just never saw it this way. Somewhere along the line, modern culture convinced us that growth means more, faster, bigger. But Islam has always taught something different, small, consistent, purposeful. That is not weakness. That is wisdom, isn't it? The Prophet Muhammad he have mentioned the most beloved deeds. The most beloved deeds to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are those that are done consistently, even if they are small. Small, consistent, beloved. This removes pressure. This removes guilt. Islam never asks you to change overnight. It asks you to return daily. Let's talk about Salah, the 5 daily prayer. Prayer is not just an obligation. It's a system Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designed for your life and my life. 5 moments a day, anchors in time, built in resets. Prayer teaches structure, discipline, presence, accountability. When prayer is strong, life slowly aligns. When prayer is neglected, everything else begins to drift. This series is not about motivation, it's about rebuilding systems, starting with the most sacred one. This podcast series is about building faith through small habits, designing a lifestyle rooted in purpose, making Islam practical in this modern life, turning prayer into a foundation, not a burden. No pressure, no perfection, just sincere progress. In the next episode, we'll explore identity before action. Who are you becoming? Because once identity is clear, habits follow naturally. This year, don't aim for a new personality. Aim for one habit protected, one system rebuilt, because small changes done consistently don't just change your year. They change your akhirah, the hereafter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow this year to be the year we all stop chasing goals and start living life with purpose. As we close today's episode, take a moment to pause and carry one small insight with you. Remember, meaningful change doesn't happen all at once. It grows through consistent, intentional steps. If today's conversation resonated with you, subscribe to Mindful Liberty so you don't miss future episodes. Thank you for spending this time with Heyvallaa podcast by Mindful Liberty. Until next time, live mindfully, stay grounded, and keep returning to what truly matters.